Two guys, one bench.
Shit talking. Strength sports. Combat sports.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Two Guys, One Bench. Over 650 pounds of fat fuckery on one bench.
Where we're talking more shit than Joey B. Tunes.
And that's a lot of shit. Oh, boom!
Wait till you see this guy. Yeah, this is all he does. Same song, same moves, forever. Now you already know what I'm gonna say, right? This guy's got millions of views for doing nothing. Well, you're right. But you know what? Good for him. Why work when you can be a dancing sim character for a living? There's no excuse anymore. If you're at a dead-end job, it's time for a change. Get yourself a pair of whatever the hell those things are, and get to dancing. Like if you dig holes for a living, just film yourself humping your shovel handle while you're working. Post a 10-second clip of you doing that at every job site. Within a month, you'll be the shovel humper guy. Millions of views, fans across the world. Quit your job. You made it. This guy could be saving lives, you know. I'm sure there's somebody in his fan base out there that took the rope off of their neck after discovering him. I'm sure he'd even get votes in our next election knowing our country. You know, if this really is the end times, what better way to go out than with this guy dancing on top of a mountain of our mistakes?
Rant of the week. We're about to pop some caps.
Darrell, did you wipe your ass enough? No, you fucking didn't, because you never can with toilet paper. And that's my rant of the week. North American lifestyle, where you just use endless toilet paper to wipe your disgusting asshole, has to go. Because I just recently put in 2 bidets in my house, and I've been spraying in my fucking balloon knot like it's no tomorrow. And boy, oh boy, I can tell you, I haven't felt cleaner. So what I want to say is get out there, get yourself a bidet, because your asshole will thank you later. And not only that, I mean, how much toilet paper are you going through? You know, those permanent marker shits where you keep on wiping and you just can't get rid of the fucking shit? Well, that goes away when you got one of these fucking high-powered hoses shooting your fucking anus. So go out there and get yourself a bidet. Darrell? Enough said, dirty asshole. Boom!
All right, and my round of the week is on fake hustle. Now, we've seen these all across Instagram. It's getting more prevalent all across all social media. The people that want you to think that they're working hard, but they're really not doing dick all. These are the kind of people that are going to lie about the weight on the bar. They're going to lie about the intensity of a workout. They're going to lie about how long they train. You don't actually work hard. You just want people to think you do. And it's pretty fucking obvious, especially when it comes to powerlifting, because it's very easy to look up on open powerlifting to see if this shit actually translates to the platform, which 9 times out of 10, it doesn't. But you don't really want to work hard. So, hey, let's throw bands on there and make up an imaginary amount at lockout because, hey, I'm benching 500 today, even though I got 36 pounds on the bar. Makes sense. What do you think, Russ?
Well, I think there's definitely some fuckery afoot. And by that, I mean, you know, there's people out there just pretending that they're doing stuff. And, you know, we just got off an amazing interview with BRANDN, one of the best powerlifters ever, top 10 ranking in the world ever. And, you know, he just said, you know, you got to have an extra level of crazy. You got to have that hard work ethic to get there. And I just know these people out there aren't putting in that time. Because, you know, I do edit videos and I do, you know, this whole podcast takes me about 20 hours a week just to get it all together by the time we film and everything. So there is no fucking faking it. And I know how much time people are just spending on their phones, just as Joey B. Tunes had showed us, that there's just people out there wasting their life doing nothing and spending their time doing nothing. It's a bunch of bullshit. So quit that fake fuckery. Boom!
Rant of the week. We're about to pop some caps. Bridge City Brands. The Gilded Beard.
What's up, everybody? We're super pumped to celebrate another sponsorship. Bridge City brand, all the way down in Lethbridge, Alberta. Check out that cool design. Hell yeah. My boy Tyler messaged me and wants to do some sponsorship. He's going to help Darrell out and myself at meets, you know, maybe some potential fighters. He's helped out in the past. He's an amazing guy. Also runs Bridge City Barbershop. If you're ever in Lethbridge, go get cut up. It's the best haircut and beard groom I've ever had. But seriously, I mean, he always has these cool ass t-shirts and he pumps them out, you know, maybe once a month. And I really love the design. Everybody comments on them, you know, they're super cool. So super happy to have them on board. Darrell?
Just happy to have another sponsor on board that's supporting us, and I love to rep the product. Nice, simple, but dope logo and great quality work.
Yeah, so go check out their stuff at the website here. And not only that, Tyler and his wife also own the Gilded Beard. Boom. Which is an amazing line of products for beard grooming. Darrell and I like to rock a little bit of the beard. And I'm going to tell you right now, this beard goo that they have is simply amazing. You know, people don't realize it that, you know, you just grow a goatee or a beard and you just leave it all dry and looking disgusting, looking like a meth head. Hell no. What you got to do is, you know, put as much energy into your beard as you do your hair. Oh, wait, Darrell. Oh, we got no hair. So that's all we got is this fucking, you know, beard. So if you don't put the product in there, it's going to look like shit. So the goo is great. Darrell, what you got there is the beard cleanse. So once you want some of that goo off or any of the oils from the beard oils, you just pump that in, give yourself a little beard wash. It's perfect. So check out those products. They're amazing as well. And we're super pumped because we're going to get a new stash of beard oils that smell amazing. And, you know, it's hard for us to look good, but we're going to look a little bit better. Thank you. Oh, boom.
Bridge City brand. The Gilded Beard.
What's up, everybody? We just got off an amazing hour-long conversation with Brandon Allen. You've probably seen him on the internet. He's that crazy, bearded, jacked-up tattoo guy that just lifts crazy weights. And he lived up to every fucking bit of, you know, stereotype we had of him. And that's good because that's exactly what we wanted. Darrell?
Yeah, he definitely lived up to expectations and a little bit more. He was fucking hilarious the whole time. But it was great just hearing from him what he did in his process and how he changed things and just his perspective on everything, and even taking us inside his life of going from one sport to into arm wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. He's always pushing himself from, you know, a college career in football into powerlifting, you know, getting up there, podiuming with, you know, some of the best guys that ever done it. And just people love him just because he's a badass that way. He's ran a gym, just recently sold it, but you know, he's out there smoking doobs all day, dabs. He's just living that life. And what he told us was, you know, everything he does, he goes 100% ape shit, and that's amazing. So stay tuned and watch this amazing interview. Boom!
Special guest, top 10 all-time total. Filthy power, Brandon Allen.
All right, everybody, we're here with Brandon Allen, one of the greatest powerlifters out there, top 10 total, best total, all-time total, just a fucking savage. How you doing, man?
Doing well, guys. Thank you for having me on.
So What I wanted to know, get right into it. Like, you're kind of, if anybody who follows you sees you got crazy dedication to it and you battle back from quite a lot of shit. So we just kind of wanted to know, like, how do you stay focused and so driven once you get to your level?
You got to be a little fucking retarded, bro, to be good at this sport. You know what I mean? There's nothing smart about what I do. Yeah, like, yeah, I guess just to cover a little bit for those that don't know, hit that total that they're talking about that put me in that top 10 spot. Fresh after that total, I was prepping for the next meet, which is, was planned to break the all-time world record. But of course, everyone plans that, right? And, I tore my quad off the bone and then had to have that repaired. And then, I'm just going brief with it. And then a motorcycle accident that broke my pelvis and tore every socket of my left leg and crushed a bunch of vertebrae and tore a couple of erectors in my spine. So needless to say, I shouldn't even be walking according to the doctor. But here I am, 2 years later and back at it. You know what I mean? Just trying to make another little push.
Yeah, wow, that's a crazy list of things that happen, in 1 year, 1 or 2 years, or
it was within like fucking 4 months, dude. It was, all happened within like 4 months. I was like on top of the world, just squatted 1,000 pounds, in Australia at Big Dogs, placed third with a fucking 24-30 total at Big Dogs, which is insane, right?
Yeah.
But any other meet that would have been, a slam dunk. But when you go with the best in the world, that's what happens, And then, like I said, I felt like I underperformed at Big Dogs. I really, who doesn't, I guess if you don't, go 9 for 9. I think I only went like 5 for 9 that meet, maybe even 4 for 9. So, yeah, definitely didn't go great. And then I was eager to get back at it, but I had a lingering knee injury for over a year where I had a partial tear in my patella that just kept getting worse. And, every couple of months I'd go get an MRI and like, yeah, it's, it's still hanging on. And, my doctor knows I'm a fucking idiot. So he was just like, all right, I know you're going to go to Australia either way. So we did what we can to help mend it and, fucking blasting peptides like crazy, the BCP 157 and TB 500 every day into my knee. That shit works, man. So anyone out there is as dumb as I am and just trying to push through an injury, those peptides really work.
wow, that's crazy. So right now, do you have any intention to compete again? Like, do you think you'll try to get?
Yeah, I do. So those have been following me, seeing I've been really, really involved in the arm wrestling community.
Nice.
I love it. It's so much fucking fun. It's just a whole different sport. And you don't have to be as fucking stupid to do it. It's more of there's a lot more technicality to it. It's like jujitsu for the hand for those that train MMA, not necessarily the strongest guy is going to win. So that's why it's a fun sport. You learn new shit. You get your ass tossed to you by a 180-pound dude. It's going to make you fucking think twice. And, and I've been real just intrigued with it and practicing and getting better and better. So, that obviously coincides with my powerlifting. They help each other and hurt each other, the training wise. Anyone that arm wrestles will tell you can't bench press because the tendonitis pain is so immense. But I just think they're a bunch of fucking pussies. You know what I mean? They've never squatted 1,000 pounds. They don't know what that does to your elbows too when you low bar squat a G. So I like to think I got a pretty high pain tolerance, can handle more than your average fucking guy. So I'm doing both, and I'm actually I've been powerlifting training for the last I don't know. I never really stopped, right? But it's been serious again, like really banging it hard for the last 6 months, 4 to 6 months. And, it's a lot different this run around, not, juiced to the fucking gills and force feeding and all that noise. Usually when I'm training powerlifting, I'm around 350 or so. And now I'm hovering. I just weighed myself, I was 306. Wow. So I'm hovering in that 300 to 310 pound range, sleeping much better, eating much better, much more healthy. And then doing the arm wrestling, as well. So as I get stronger in powerlifting, it translates to the table, and my arms getting better as well, getting stronger. So, in the near future, we got a big arm wrestling tournament coming up in mid or end of February up in Utah, which is only a 4 to 6 hour drive, depending on what city it's in from Las Vegas, which is cool. So I'm going to go do that. And that'll be my first arm wrestling tournament. I don't know how I'll fare out in tournament standpoint. I compete with some of the best arm wrestlers in the world, Eric Spoto, just the guys like that, and we have a lot of, big name guys come through the gym. I'm not going to say her name drop. I'm sure a lot of you have seen the videos.
Yeah.
So I've been pretty fortunate just with my powerlifting background to be able to get exposure and access to top level arm wrestlers, which is definitely accelerating me, I would think, further than just your average dude, pulling, just a bunch of other average lifters or arm wrestlers. So I like to think I'm going to do decent. We'll see how it goes. Who knows? Especially when you're going against guys that train off the hit. It's just a whole different animal. If you arm wrestle, you know what I'm talking about. So that's the mid-February or end of February. And then I'm going to make my return to the platform on May 15th. I haven't announced this to anyone yet. So this is actually the first time I've announced the date. So it'll be May 15th an APF meet in Phoenix, Arizona. And I'll be doing Raw 308. Looking for, a conservative 2,000 pound total, just to kind of dip my toes back into it, come back. And, it's just fun. I don't know how to not do it. Right. So, and like I said earlier, I'm a fucking idiot. So I probably shouldn't be. My back could probably use another year, but it is what it is.
That's awesome. Yeah. I actually have a bit of an arm wrestling experience too. I lived in Japan for 11 years and I was fighting out there as well. And,
wow.
Yeah, I won the Japan championship in heavyweight. There's actually guys that are big too, but those guys,
they do freedom arm wrestling out there, don't they?
Yeah, they're
so no table pad. It's just the whole table.
Yeah, no, there's a table and everything, but generally they don't use straps.
But there's no pad, is what I mean. Hey, isn't it freedom?
It was so long ago I can barely remember if there was a pad or not. I'm not sure. But yeah, but I kind of retired from that after I snapped the guy's arm in half, and I kind of felt bad.
Fuck him. Gonna drink some more fucking milk, you pussy. I don't even know they
yeah, that's awesome. But so yeah, arm wrestling, I'd like to dive into that a little bit more. That's pretty awesome. So you're training with Eric Spoto. He's the original Vanilla Gorilla bench press champion too, right?
Yeah, Eric Spoto was the all-time world record holder with a 722 raw bench, and he held that for 3 to 5 years. I don't remember exactly. Might have been 5. And, then Kirill came out of nowhere, and the Kirill wasn't really even, big in Russia, but he wasn't really anything in the American scene. And Kirill came out of nowhere and fucking put up a 738, which broke Eric's record. And it really kind of took the wind out of his sails. You know what I mean? You can kind of see it. Eric's a little older. And then you see a monster like Kirill, who you knew his potential so much higher, and then Julius and, Davis Thomas, the freaks are coming out, you know what I mean? They get bigger and bigger and stronger. So yeah, Eric's always actually been an arm wrestler, much before he was a power lifter or a bench presser. You can look on YouTube and find video of Eric Spoto pulling back in like early 2000s, maybe even late 90s. So, and he's always just been a house. He's just so fucking strong. It's a different type of muscle that he has, again, so it's also reality check because, whenever you start feeling fucking strong, go ahead and hang on to that fucking hand. It'll really let you know you got shit. That's what happens every time you grip up with him.
What's it been like for you, like the transition going from a sport where you're obviously elite as fuck and then going to something completely brand new? Was it like you're a complete rookie
at the bottom?
Your strength, were you kind of higher up? Or?
Yeah, well, it's cool. I mean, I never really, I always knew I was special in terms of strength, and I always knew I was special in terms of work ethic and dedication, and I would do what most people won't. And anyone that knows that from the trains at Filthy Power Gym knows how insane my workouts get and how insane I get during those workouts. And so I know how to do things that people don't. I know how to get to a different level of the pain tolerance that people don't know how to. So I knew that I can always be stupid strong, and powerlifting was just kind of fit into that mold. So, but I never thought I was like some gifted powerlifter where, I just knew I could work hard. Obviously I have the genetics for strength. Otherwise you can never get to the level I was at without the genetics as well. But I don't think I have the genetics as like, Dylan Hellraiser or Hathor, any of these fucking monsters, you know what I mean, now that are in the powerlifting scene that are, their genetic potential is so much higher. So again, like I said, I never really considered myself like this crazy elite powerlifter. I just knew that I was willing to do what most guys wanted. So then going into arm wrestling, I feel the same way. I'm willing to grip and do the wrist work and the boring shit that you're just sitting there, you don't want to fucking do anymore. And I can put the hours in And so I think that I'll excel quickly. Well, who knows? But you know, to more answer your question, how do I handle the transition of being a lower level guy? The answer is don't be a lower level guy. So I'm gonna do the crazy shit that I have to do to get my hands to a strength to where I'm not going to go in there and get my ass kicked. And there's guys that can kick my ass, of course, but you know, when you're a novice coming in, you know, you shouldn't be able to beat up with some of the bigger guys. And I plan on doing that. And we'll see. I could, you know, this might come back to haunt me, but it is what it is. You know, I stand by it.
Nice. Yeah, it's definitely taken off as well, like the WHL, and you can win some big money. WAL, my bad, WHL. Yeah, there's some cash on the line now too that you can pick up.
Yeah, it's cool. It's there's more money everywhere, you know, in all aspects of sports because of Instagram and social media and giving other people an opportunity to make money by promoting clothing or brands or, you know, whatever little shit you're doing. So yeah, it's cool. And arm wrestling, you know, because especially with pandemic bullshit, everyone's sitting at home with nothing to do and no new movies or content's coming out. So whether they return to YouTube stars and especially when you guys like Larry Wheels involved, who, you know, millions of followers and I think it brought so many eyes to arm wrestling and guys that were powerlifters, myself, strongmen, bodybuilding, whatever it is that were watching these type of channels, you know, that were getting into the arm wrestling. And again, like I said, I've just been fortunate to have these people in my corner already. You know, Derek Smith is a good buddy of mine. And, you know, obviously Spoto, like I said, just top level guys have always been kind of, yeah, you should pull, you'd be fucking strong. So, you know, that's how I kind of got into it. But I think that it's going to blow up so much bigger now when all the restrictions uplift because there's so many guys, like I said, watching the Larry Wheelses and things like that are going to want to get into it. I have a feeling 2021, the novice class of arm wrestling tournaments is just going to be insane, bigger than they've ever seen it, which is cool, you know, and, you know, opens up the talent pool. And also it's going to make these guys that are at the top not be top guys for very long. Same thing happened in powerlifting. Before Instagram made powerlifting as popular as it is, there was, you know, a 2,000 pound total was holy shit. That was fucking insane. Now that's dime a dozen. You know, if you don't total 2,000 pounds, you're not even a fucking power lifter, right? Like it's just, I think the same's going to happen in arm wrestling. You know, literally the same's going to happen in arm wrestling where these top guys, there's going to be more genetic freaks that come out that are willing to put in the work, the same work that they put in, but they have a more genetic potential. And they're going to be able to do things that these other guys can't do. And I think we're seeing that. I mean, I'm sure you guys have been following up what's going on in Dubai with those guys out there and a lot of cool stuff. And yeah, I'm just happy to be able to get a good jump into the sport as it grows and, you know, do my part to help get the exposure out there as well.
Nice. Yeah, it makes sense. With your extensive like training and everything and saying that you'll do anything, was there ever a thought to try out strongman?
Oh yeah, that was probably my original passion. I didn't know much about powerlifting at all. When I was younger, I was just a fucking meathead, you know. I just worked out to beat people's asses and shit. And I played football and stuff. So it made it just kind of went hand in hand. And then when I always watched Strongman, World's Strongest Man, I used to try to emulate things, you know what I mean? But there was, mind you, early 2000s, there was no such thing as a strongman gym or a powerlifting gym at all. Like they didn't exist. So, you know, I'm working on a commercial gym trying to emulate stuff and like picking up huge dumbbells and, you know, just dumb shit, you know. And then finally I started training with this one cop out in San Diego who he was like, hey man, he's like, you're fucking strong, you know, you should try powerlifting. And I was like, oh, that shit they do in Russia, you know, like I didn't know that even was a real thing here. And, you know, that's how I got into powerlifting. But yeah, strongman was always what I wanted to do. And you know, with my football background, strongman would have made more sense for me just because you know, decently athletic for how large I am. You know, fast. In college, I ran a 4.6, 440, weighing at 265 pounds. High school, I ran a 4.59, weighing at 235. So, you know, always had decent speed, which would have helped me in like melees and things like that in strongman. But again, another thing about me in college is in football was very injury prone. I always got fucking hurt. Something tore, this fucking broke. That, you know, I just I could produce more horsepower than my body could handle. So strongman probably wasn't a smart option with how many injuries I always get, just because the functional strength side of things, you're going to attain a lot more injuries than just straight bar path with powerlifting. So Yeah, strongman's cool. I would love to do it. I don't think I'd ever do it in a highly competitive way. If there was a local meet, a local tournament going on and they had a novice division, I would jump in it in a heartbeat. No question about it. It's just, I don't know. I don't, it's not something I think I would really train for again, because I have buddies that do that. Again, living in Vegas, I have access to a lot of people and train with Nick Best and guys like that. Nick's an anomaly who is 50, whatever years old, true and strongman. That's not normal. Most guys, have a very, very short shelf life in strongman. They get hurt so much and they don't last long. So I just felt like powerlifting was probably a smarter option if I really wanted to try to be the best in the world at something.
Nice. Well, yeah, you definitely were one of the best in the world. What's it like being in Vegas? I know you mentioned that you're just outside of Vegas, but it seems like I've never been there. I'm from Canada. I'm fucking Canadian as fuck. But
yeah. You didn't say,
I've been to the U.S. a bunch. We love the U.S. But it just seems like for me, I teach mixed martial arts. It's just the mecca for fighting, and that kind of energy there must be amazing,
Yeah, Vegas and Southern California are by far the meccas for strength sports, bodybuilding, MMA, anything that's like a combat or strength, just like the absurd things. This is definitely the place to be. Las Vegas or Southern California, and that's I grew up in Southern California, and I moved to Las Vegas in 2012 or 13, literally just to train with Eric Spoto and Stan Efferding. That's why I moved here. So. I used to work construction. I was a heavy equipment operator and made, good money and had a lot of money saved up. Once the last job I was on dried up and, my next option was go work this job way out in the middle of the fucking desert. There wasn't a gym for an hour and a half away. And I was like, dude, fuck that noise. I was like, I'm just going to move to Vegas and roll the dice. And here I am, I literally moved to Vegas and lived here for, I don't know, maybe a year or so, and then opened a gym with my wife, who I met out here, and then the rest is history. Just kind of fucking made it all happen. But Vegas is cool, man. It's cool knowing that there's always something going on. If you're a gambler or you have a drinking problem, this probably isn't the place for you. I'm pretty level-headed. I don't have a problem with that kind of shit, so it doesn't bother me at all. Like, you'll never catch me on the strip ever, unless there's someone in town who I really want to go see there, like my father or something like that. But it's also cool, like in the summertime, having all the pool parties and, if you're into the clubs, that's cool too. But what's really cool about being here is that there's always people coming here. So, having my gyms and stuff, which I recently closed, but having my gyms and stuff in Vegas, it's always awesome because anytime someone's in town, they need a place to train. They want to come by the gym. You get to meet all these badass people. And it's just cool. It's just, like I said, it's cool. There's so much to do. People don't understand. Like, Vegas isn't like just this little tiny strip. We're out in the middle of the desert. So there's a ton of desert shit to do. Like, we have a big lake, right next to us. And you're a short drive to any like California shit. And so the off-road scene is huge out here, which I'm into. The gun scene is huge out here. We still have very conservative laws and stuff. So we're able to, it's pretty cool with that kind of stuff. And yeah, I mean, anything you want is that a fucking phone call, bro. Like, what do you want? Like, I literally make a call from, a hooker to some blow to, you want to go rent a fucking Maserati. You want, whatever it is, it's here,
Yeah. Well, before all the lockdowns and shit happened, like, not gonna go into it too much, but the whole plan was for me to come to Vegas last Christmas. And everything was lining up. I was going to go down there. We were going to go down to celebrate my mom's birthday. It was going to be a early birthday present or late birthday present. And the whole point was to come down to Vegas and train in your gym. And I had shit lined up for it because I messaged and make sure the gym I could get into it. Then when everything shut down, I was like, that was the biggest hit for me.
Yeah.
I wanted to train somewhere else outside of Canada.
Well, I sold my gym to Eric Spoto, the big one. So he didn't spare any expenses. He went hard and he upgraded a lot. And it's called Sin City Iron now. So if you're in Las Vegas area, if you're listening to this and you're coming to Vegas, check out Sin City Iron. It's the old Filthy Power Gym headquarters. Much improved, really fucking cool. Obviously a really cool group of guys there. And Devin Lorette's in town a lot, and you train with Eric and stuff. It's awesome, man. It's a really cool spot, and I don't have that fucking overhead every month to deal with anymore. So it took a lot off my shoulders. COVID, everything was bullshit, man. They're telling us we can't run our gym, but I got to pay 10 grand a month in overhead. It's been a rough fucking year to say the least. So I'm pretty relieved to be out of the brick and mortar, having a physical location. And, I recently, I closed my North gym as well. That wasn't because it was hurting or anything. That was just because the landlord didn't want to re-sign the lease. And because I moved to Boulder City, where I live now, over by the lake, that's an hour and 10-minute drive for me. It didn't make sense to open another one nearby, given that I'm never there. It's just, it made money and everything. I love the guys that were there, and I feel bad for having to close it. But, the guy wanted to re-sign the lease. There's nothing I can do about it. We had a good 6-year run. So I recently moved all that equipment into my house, into my garage, and now I'm almost done with building that out. I've been working on that like crazy the last couple weeks, and really happy where that's going. And it's just better, you know what I mean? It's better now. To see my 5 a.m. clients, I don't have to wake up at 3 a.m. anymore. I get up at 4:40, 4:30, and it's just it's a much improved. It's helping my schedule, that's for sure. And it's helping me save diesel, not driving all the way into Vegas every day. It's a good 35-minute drive to Vegas, from where I live. So all positives, again, it sucks a little bit to lose my gyms, and, I'm always going to miss that, but I can open another gym anytime I want. And we'll wait till all this bullshit lifts. I'd hate to go sign a lease right now, and then they tell us we can't fucking have people in there. And then, you're on the hook for the money. You sign that lease, the landlord don't give a shit about what the governor says.
Yep.
So
I just signed my own lease today. So
I'm
rolling the dice, man.
You guys are a mad lockdown, bro. I don't know. Smart move.
I'm rolling the dice. Fuck it. I got a good deal on it, kind of. And it's MMA/lifting gym. And, it's my life's work. So I'm going to make it work regardless. Online coaching,
Yeah. That's where all the money's at. You know what I mean? That's where, closing the gym didn't hurt my financial situation at all. It just eliminated actually a big financial burden. And the way that my operation runs, I make my money through the coaching online and obviously the in-person, but now that I bring the gym to my house, my clients don't mind driving to my house. In fact, the girls I coach love it because they get to hang out with Jenny now. And then, they have coffee and shit before work. It's just, it's all around better. But good luck to you, man, because you got a fucking long journey ahead of you.
Thank you.
No, I think that's for a lot of people. They found like setting up a home gym. Like I know Russ bought one during the first lockdown we had here, and that made things a lot more accessible. Like you said, instead of having to drive to work, you have people come to you, and it's more personable. And like you said, with the female clients, a lot of the time they like that a little bit more instead of being with 50 dudes just staring at their ass the whole workout.
100%. Now they just have to deal with me fucking breathing heavily in the corner.
Well, back to a question about your training. You were saying like right now you're not juiced to the gills and training a lot smarter and everything. What would you say are some pros and cons of training on and off, like on your cycle?
Okay, so it's all about the recovery, you know what I mean? And people that run gear will probably agree with that. You just don't recover as quickly, and you can't do those crazy long workouts like I used to do. You might not walk for 3 days after. It's not like how it was, but there's so the negatives would be that. The negatives would be the you don't get that crazy pump when you work out. So workouts don't feel as good, but everything else is better. The sleep is better. My diet is 100 times. I follow the vertical diet to a T by Stan Efferding. My diet's so much cleaner, and that makes life better as well. You're not dealing with the emotional shit from running fucking hormones that your body's not supposed to have. It's just I'm happier with my relationship with my wife. The sex drive is regular as opposed to when you're fucking juicing, where some days you want to fuck a goddamn hole in the door, and other days your dick won't get hard if you're porn on it. So it's just that's nice, just having the stability. But for the most part, I don't know. I wish I knew what I knew now, because back when I was at my highest level, I probably wouldn't have run the doses that I did. And mind you, my last run, 2018, when I was, when I put up that big total under that, I wasn't running a lot a year, not like at all compared to what I was running like 2016. 2016 is when I had a health scare and I coughed up blood on an opening squat and shit like that. I got kind of let the wrong people get in my ear about what kind of steroids you should be taking and how much of it. And it wasn't right. And it wasn't good. It was way too much. And I learned in 2018, I literally ran over half or less than half of what I was running in 2016. And I yielded better results because, you're back then, I used to think like, oh, you have a bad workout, you up the dose. You have having a bad week, up the dose, and that was the answer to everything. And then you start sacrificing sleep, and then you stop sacrificing your nutrition because you can't eat because your fucking stomach's full of Anadrol, and shit like that. Where the second time around, I did it way better, way healthier, way smarter, and then this time around, I'm gonna do the same. Now again, I don't plan on going up to super heavyweight again. At least right the way things look right now, I don't plan on it. I'm going to stay in the 308 division and have more fun with it, and use it as a tool to promote my coaching and what I can do. And we'll see. That could change. I could get that bar on my back in front of the crowd and be like, nah, fuck it, let's go and run hard again. But the main deterrent for me and the main reason why I am staying away from the steroids is because I want to have a baby. And doing steroids for fucking 8 years and having a kid don't really coincide. So I've been off for it's been a while now, and that's the main reason why. And I just started my second wave of HCG and HMG, so we're hoping for results this time. We'll see how things go. Who knows? It is what it is. I may have done some irreversible damage. So that's the one thing I wish I could have conveyed to myself when I was younger. When I was younger, I didn't think I ever cared to have kids. I don't want to have kids. If it happens, it happens. I wouldn't be upset about it. It's just not something I'm pursuing. And here I am now at 32 years old where, I wish I was a little smarter back then. And maybe I'd be yielding better results now. But, again, like I don't make the plans, God does, and I just fucking run with it,
Exactly. Yeah. I've had some personal problems with fertility with my wife as well. And I can understand your struggle, brother. It's hard.
Yeah.
But I wish you the best luck with that. So how long into training were you before you started thinking to do some, steroids or?
Well, I had done steroids long before I did anything with powerlifting. Never the type of doses, mind you, I did a cycle of steroids when I was like fucking like 18 years old, 17 years old. Just one cycle, a bottle of test, and it was amazing. And like mentally I was addicted to it. And, but again, I was off. I didn't touch it again until I was 22. And then again, I'm not recommending this to anyone. I believe this is all way too young. So when I was 22, I started doing low doses of testosterone and then on and off, you know what I mean? Like 8 weeks on, 8 weeks off type deal. And then when I was around 24 is when I started getting into powerlifting. And that's when, I would run steadily. I probably ran from when I was 24 to 26 years old. I don't think I came on steroids at all. And that was growing in the sport, trying to, make a name for myself and get stronger. And, I didn't really care about making a name for myself. I just really wanted to get stronger. So that's why I did that. And then, 2016, which I think I was 26 or 27-ish. That's when I was really juicing fucking hard and I really didn't care. I was reckless abandon. And I was doing whatever it took to take it to the next level and get the higher total. So, that again, I wasn't smart, and that's when I realized like, okay, there's definitely, you can't just do this forever. You're going to fucking die. And, I came completely off steroids for a while, maybe a good 8 or 9 months. And then then you know how it goes. You just dabble in. I'm just going to do a little TRT and then a little bit more and then a little bit more. Next thing you know, you're slamming a fucking G a week and, popping fucking Anadrols before workout. So, it is what it is.
You got to do it if you're going to be the best, though. So
that's what I try to tell people. Like, I was the best in the world. That means I left no stone unturned. I tried everything to get that way. And you're never going to be to that top level. You need to have the food intake. You need to have the financial situation to support it. Because, I laugh at people all the time that they want to get big. I'm like, what do you do for work? You can't afford to get big, man. You got to eat, 60 ounces of red meat a day. And, and they don't understand it. They go, I eat so much. I'm like, really? I'm looking at you. It's science. This isn't a fucking a guessing game. You're not eating enough. and and then a big problem is that people can't afford to eat enough, and I understand that that's a reality. So as I did better financially, I got bigger and stronger because I was able to afford more food, and I was able to afford more steroids and other things like that, and I was able to rest more because I didn't have to work construction, 16-hour days, 12-hour days, crazy shit like that. So, there's that, but I kind of forgot the question. I was kind of rambling a little bit there.
I love your
whiskey's starting to take over.
One thing, I followed you for years is just, I see that you smoke some pretty massive amounts of weed. That's pretty awesome.
I do everything in excess, just so you guys maybe haven't noticed. I do everything over the top. You know what I mean? I wanted a hot wife, so I got a really hot wife. I want a tattoo, so I got a lot of tattoos. I want to get high, so I get really fucking high. So I do everything over the top, right? But yeah, out here I don't even really smoke weed anymore. I just smoke concentrates. Just like I'll socially smoke flower. When we have like arm wrestling practice at the house and shit, we'll, pass joints around, and that's fun, but it's not getting me high when you smoke dabs all day. If you smoke weed, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you sound like a super busy guy. You were mentioning that, 5 a.m. you have clients coming over. On top of that, you're a husband and you have all these crazy things going on in your life. Coaching. I know what
coaching is nonstop. The coaching is nonstop.
Darrell and I are in the same field, and we're just wondering, how the hell do you find the time for all this shit? Do you sleep?
Yeah, right. I spread myself a little thin at times. You know what I mean? Where kind of every hour of my day is kind of accounted for, and then you have things that happen like yesterday, where I wake up in the morning, I look outside, I'm like, oh wow, it fucking rained hard last night. It didn't rain last night. So one of my irrigation pipes busted, and water was coming out of the ground. My whole pool filled up with dirt water from the fucking dirt that was pouring in the ground, out of the ground into it. And so, had to get the sledgehammer out, break up the concrete and tackle that. That was an unexpected, 6-hour project, which then set my whole day back, and then trying to get everything else done. And you know how it goes. You just have those days, and then then I was delivering some gym equipment, blew a tire on my trailer on the way for that. I was like, I got a fucking podcast in 2 hours. So it's just that's just how it goes sometimes. So again, yeah, I'm a little spread thin, but I always have to remind myself this is always going to be better than working a real job and working construction and something like that, because that's my other option, right? Like, I'm never going to work a job where I'm not making $100,000 a year, and at least. So that's construction, or figure out a smarter way. And construction's hard fucking work. And so I get frustrated, you know what I mean? And I get it's just text after text and video, and you're like, oh my fucking god, you really need me to look at this? Like, give me a break. I get frustrated, but I remind myself this is always going to be better than working for somebody else and paying into the fucking system and and doing all that shit. I'm not about that. I want to be independent and do my own thing. And this is the only way I know how to do it at the moment, other than selling fucking dope, and I don't really want to do that because I would, but it's illegal. So this is the better way. And yeah, so how do I manage it? It's just, everyone in your circle has to kind of know what time it is. My wife knows what time it is. When I put my head down on my phone and I ignore her as she's talking about something, she knows I got to stay on top of these fucking clients, because she enjoys the lifestyle we live as well. And so, as long as she's on board and she knows what time it is and doesn't get upset when I ignore her for something silly, then when I'm done with my phone, I'm sorry, babe, what was that? So there's a little effort on my end too to keep peace in the house, but again, you make your times. People do it smarter than me, probably by doing it by email, but I think a lot of people enjoy being coached by me because they have access to me so instantly via text. So I also have to remind myself a lot of time, this is my own business plan that I developed. So when I get frustrated because someone's fucking texting me all the fucking time, I'm like, well, I kind of gave him my number and told him to text me. So how can I be mad at him? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's one thing that stuck out. Like, I told Russ, I'm like, we should try and get Brandon Allen on here. Like, I'd mentioned to him, I'd messaged you previously just for random tips before, and you're like, quick response, give me a full thing. Like there's a lot of guys out there, not nearly your level, who just won't give you the time of day. And I was like, we should definitely pursue having him on. And because
Yeah.
you're actually open and honest with shit.
Oh
But
yeah,
also-
but some guys think their shit don't stink, dog. I know my shit stinks.
How does it work with your coaching though? Like, since you're so busy and like you said, you're spread pretty thin, do you have a limit, or do you set like a certain time? Like, don't, after this time you can't message me, or do people have to like apply to be your client?
So, well, because of my schedule, they'll know if, I go to bed early. And so if you text me late, I'm going to respond at 3 a.m. when I'm taking a shit. And you're going to get that fucking text. And if you call me at night, I'm going to call you at 3 a.m. and tell you to answer your fucking phone. So they usually, they learn the schedule pretty quick. You know what I mean? And it's just about respect, and sometimes you're driving, you see a text, and do you forget to respond? It happens. It's, I like to say I'm pretty on top of it. I don't think any of my clients, other than a couple little whiny little bitches, would say that I'm not like really into responding to them and keeping on top of their video updates and things like that. So yeah, I like I said, some guys probably do it better where they have email blocks, or they say, okay, I'll respond to emails during these blocks, and you just send all your emails and then go to it. But like I said, that's not my business model, and I don't know that my business model would work that way. Because I'm not charging cheap pricing, you know what I mean? You're paying for my time, but I'm going to give you my fucking time. So I just try to, like I said, remind myself of that, and be as available as I can be. And that's, that also is without someone taking advantage of me, because that does happen too, where guys want to, you post something funny online, they want to text you like, oh bro, that post was funny. I'm like, that's what the fucking comment section is for, dog. Like, you don't have my number to text me that kind of shit. Like, this is a work relationship. You don't fucking text me that was a funny video. I know it was fucking funny. That's why I posted it, motherfucker.
All right. Duly noted. Do not text. That's amazing. So if anybody wanted to get out and hire you as a coach right now, like how to get a hold of you?
Shoot me a DM on Instagram, dog. That's easy as that, and there literally is not a DM that I don't respond to unless you come at me with some fucking gay shit. I'm probably not going to respond to that. It's funny. Recently, this last few months, I don't know what it's been, but I've been getting these requests to be their sugar baby from either like Middle Eastern men or like really fucking large women. And I'm like, what the fuck? What does anyone ever say yes to this? I don't understand. Like, but they start offering you crazy amounts of money. And I just block those right away. There's sometimes it's funny to fuck with them. And but for the most part, I literally respond. I would say I respond to every single message. I do my best to, at least. And like I said, unless you say some off the wall shit or some stupid shit, or if you message me, hi, what do you mean fucking hi, motherfucker? You got to start with something better than that. So again, it all depends. But for the most part, I respond to everybody. So if you're interested in coaching by me, you're going to get me, man. I'm as real as they come. This is how I talk. This is how I'm going to talk to you. But I'm going to do my best to make sure you get stronger. And if you do what I say, more than likely you're going to get stronger. I can't guarantee it, because you could like be on fucking chemotherapy with cancer or something as you're trying to get stronger. That ain't going to work. But there's for the most part, I think I can handle pretty much any situation.
Do you ever get any, like, I know you said you get those weird requests, but do you ever get guys coming in your DMs like talking shit at all, or has that kind of gone away?
Yeah, no, not in the DMs, because there's no point in the DMs, because I'm just gonna block you, right? There's no audience for them to try to get attention. So when people talk shit, it's because they want to get attention. It's not, they don't, if you want to fucking fight me, I'm not hard to find. You know what I mean? You could come find me. So that's never the case. So if someone's talking shit online, it's because they want the attention. And I hate that shit, bro. I hate little yappers, little fucking ankle biter dogs, So I do my best to stay out of it. When people talk shit in the comment section, like when I was, years ago, I'd fucking love to, on Thursdays, I didn't train on Thursdays. So I'd sit there and respond to these assholes and talk all this shit back, and it'd be funny, but now I'm like, I just realized how fucking pathetic you got to be to go and to comment on another man's life negatively. Like, I don't understand that. I can never do that. I'm too worried about what I got going on in my own life to even give a fuck about what's going on in someone else's. So if someone's talking shit, I realize they're probably at a pretty low place in their life. I'm going to do them a big favor right now and just go ahead and block them, so I can eliminate my distraction in their own life. And hopefully they figure that out. better themselves and realize how fucking much of a tool they are for, you know, talking shit on social media. My Lord. You know, I grew up in the era where, you know, some fucking douchebags had MySpace, but we made fun of them enough that they definitely weren't in our circle. So, you know, we didn't play on the internet or any of that kind of shit. You know, we were out, you know, being fucking normal kids and getting in fights and, you know, whooping the shit out of each other and having a good old time. And nowadays it's keyboard warriors, you know what I mean? You saw them in person, these motherfuckers would run or literally run the other way or come up to me like wanting to take a picture because they're a fucking fan, you know, and they're just trying to talk shit online to get a response. There's no way to get a response to me. I respond, you know, to honey, you know, you give me something sweet, I'm gonna talk to you. You talk some shit, I don't have time for you, man. I really don't have time for you. And again, if you're local in Vegas and you want to talk shit, now I even have less respect for you because you know where to find me. You can come have this conversation with me, but you want to talk about it online to try to grow your following because I have the big following. That's what drives me the most fucking crazy. Because again, like I said, there's these little guppies aren't going to talk shit to another little guppy that's got no following because they don't know there's no benefit from them to it. So they try to attack big personalities because they think it's going to get them popular for some. I don't know. It's the stupidest thing. You know what I mean? I don't quite understand why they do it, but like I said, I think they got some personal shit going on, and that's why they do it. And I do them that big old favor, man. Hit that block button and fucking out of their life forever. They ain't got to ever worry about me again. I mean, except for the weirdos that go and make 3 or 4 other accounts to keep messaging. That's weird as fuck.
That brings me a bit of a question to you. With all these giant dudes starting to try to do some fights now, I just love your attitude. You sound like a guy that just go in there and go fucking crazy. How about doing one of these celebrity boxing matches, man? You would destroy some.
I love to bang, bro. I love banging. That's by far. You know, I'm good at powerlifting, but I love whooping ass. So that would be cool. But again, I don't have the dedication right now or the time to put into to do an actual boxing. You know what I mean? Like street fights all day. You know what I mean? Like I'll always throw hands. I love that kind of shit. But to go get in the ring with somebody, that's a whole different level of cardiorespiratory that I just don't have, that I would have to train for. Don't get me wrong, I train boxing and stuff. It's but like I said, I'm by no means do I have gas, you know? So if I were to do it, you would see me at like probably 60 pounds lighter than I'm in right now. I'd probably be in that 200, maybe not 60 pounds. I'd probably be like 260. So probably about like 40 to 50 pounds lighter I am now. I think at 260, I'd be able to go 12 rounds. But, you know, just recently I was training boxing, you know, quite hard just because it was, you know, it's fun. And I couldn't box and arm wrestle at the same time. I learned because so much hand pain and nerve pain that you know, from arm wrestling, you get to a point where you can't even really make a fist. And you fight, you know, you hit a bag with a soft fist, you're fucking up your hand.
Yeah.
So it came to a point where I couldn't even hit a heavy bag anymore because my wrists were hurting so bad, my hands were hurting so bad. So, you know, jabbing out a speed bag and, you know, a bungee bag and having fun with that, and, you know, going rounds with one of the guys at the gym. But again, I never gave it enough to get my gas there to where I was having a lot of fun because I was always just so fucking winded that I know what level it would take for me to get there. No, I'm not saying that's not on the option or when it happened. If some motherfucker worthy called me out and wanted to do some shit, you'll see me put my phone down for fucking 6 months and come out ready. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, or if you want to just show up, you know what I mean, at the gym and fucking squabble in the parking lot, that's fun too, you know?
Love it. Yeah. Well, someone wants to call you out, then we'll see what that happens. But I know they'll be in trouble.
I will see.
What's that recovery like with arm wrestling? Because I know one guy who competes in the WAL. There's a smaller guy, but he told me he was one of those guys you were talking about who doesn't do powerlifting and arm wrestling same time. But for you, what's that like? Like if you're arm wrestling, are you done doing stuff for a couple days, or you just go right back in it because you have that high pain tolerance?
Yeah, dude, I just, like I said, I'm a little retarded, so I can push through things that most guys wouldn't. You know, I've been to the point where you unracking 135 pounds, you know, on the bench press, you're just like, fuck, man, there's no way. You know, I bench pressed, you know, 400 pounds for reps, or what, 400 some pounds for reps, you know, later, you know, that day. It's just, you just got to suck it up. You know, like our bodies are pretty resilient and they'll adapt to anything. Right? To sit here and act like, you know, I'm super macho and there wasn't like workouts that I couldn't get through, that would be a lie, because there were those, you know. But I've been arm wrestling solid now. You know, it's been a year that I've been introduced to it. like actually get on the table, but it's only been about 6 months because I had gyno surgery within this time and everything like that. So it's only been 6 months that I've been pulling consistent, maybe 8 months, 6 to 8 months I've been pulling consistently, to where, that first 3 or 4 months, your arms are just ruined after a practice. You can't do much of anything. But again, I'm retarded, so I would. And if you can't squat because your elbows hurt from going out in the bar, switch to a safety squat bar. If you can't bench press because your elbows hurt too bad, bench press in the machine. There's ways to get the work done. If you're going to make an excuse not to do it, you'll find that excuse.
Yeah.
But you need to, if you really want it, you'll find the excuse to do it. Every time I feel bad about myself, I remind myself like how lucky I am to even be here and doing what I'm doing. I should be in a wheelchair or not even alive. And then I have friends, that, are in the military that, got blown up and, they're pinned back together and skin's burnt up. And, every day's a struggle just to fucking do the normal shit. And here I am complaining because my elbows hurt from fucking arm wrestling, you fucking pussy, So it just all depends on the mentality, you have. And I think that anyone can do both. I really do. I just think that you got to suck it up and you got to endure the suck and know that there's going to be a few months there where life's going to be pretty fucking miserable. But anytime you think you got it bad, just remember there's motherfuckers out there that got it 10 times worse than you.
Nice.
Yeah, that's perfectly said. We talk about it all the time, and obviously it's not going to mean the same coming from us as it does from someone who's elite or at the top. But yeah, there's people, if you want something bad enough, you're going to make the time for it. And if you don't, you're going to make excuses. And like, oh, I could do that too if I had time for it. You do have time for it. You're just making more excuses than progress.
Dude, they used to drive me nuts when I had my gym. Like, and people were like, "Oh, if I had my own gym, I'd be hitting these numbers." I'm like, as if that motherfucking gym fell from the sky and I caught it. And you know what I mean? What are you talking about? I built that motherfucker. I had to make the money to make it happen. I had to, do all the shit. And then I'm like, and then because your ass didn't work for it, no, you wouldn't. If you inherited everything I have right now, your ass would sit at home and play Xbox all day because you're too fucking lazy to even do the work to get to where I'm at. So there's no way that if you had what I had, you'd be doing what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? So again, yeah, people like to always say, if I had this or that, I would do it. Like if I were 6'8", I'd be the world's strongest man. No, I fucking wouldn't. You know what I mean?
Just be
no, I
6'8".
fucking wouldn't.
Awesome. So, do you have any advice to up and coming lifters? And with all your experience, obviously you can try to help them avoid shit, even though most of them are dumb and they don't listen to you. But what would you tell these young people, when they're starting out?
It's going to sound like a broken record, as I heard it all the time too when I was coming up. But it's a marathon, not a sprint. No one gets strong overnight. Nothing great is done overnight. Nothing memorable is done overnight. It's a long game, man. It's a fucking long game, and don't try to win it all today. It's you got to win each little battle to get you to the next step, and the next step, the next step, the next level. Be easy on your steroid uses. You don't try to out gear, work ethic. Work ethic's always going to outdo everything. So if you bust your ass and train hard, you're always going to do better than some guy that's doing steroids training mediocrely. Nutrition's everything, man. I wish I knew this younger. Nutrition is fucking everything. So get your diet right. Your sleep will be better. Your training will be better. Your recovery will be better. Your testosterone levels will be better. Your sex drive will be higher because your confidence will be better. Everything's better. So get the nutrition dialed. That would probably be the biggest thing I wish that I could have fixed in younger me. And then obviously reduce the PED usage. So those two things, eat clean, juice mildly.
And obviously you touched on it. You've changed quite a bit. And in the beginning, you probably just went balls to the walls all the time. Like, how has your training specifically changed? Like, did you go from different style of programming that fit you better, or did you just dial it back and realize I don't have to do everything at once?
So the biggest thing that changed my life in training was Chad Wesley Smith, owner of Juggernaut. So when I used to train, I mean, mind you, I got to a 22:15 raw total, just bro lifting and going hard when I felt good and going easy when I didn't, and doing bodybuilding more style workouts, with a little bit of powerlifting to it. So that's how it was. And then when I met Chad was like, "Hey man, you got potential, but you got to do this training a little differently." And I started training under Chad, which, you know, this is exactly how I coach to this day, juggernaut style, you know, sub-maximal training. It's not pretty for Instagram. It's boring. It works. It's the smart way of doing it to minimize your injuries, but maximize your results and give you longevity. So, you know, instead of having a day where you go in there, you just got like 1 or 2 sets where you go fucking ham, you know, do 8 sets at a fucking, you know, 7 RPE. And you know, it's just a whole different style of training, which is a much smarter way of training, which I've learned, you know, it's the way to do it. I think Chad has taught me so much, and I've learned so much through Juggernaut, through all the videos online, all that online that he puts out there, to where I don't know. I wouldn't be who I am today if it weren't for him. That's for sure. Or at least I wouldn't. I don't know if I would have got to the level. I think I would have burnt out much quicker. You know what I mean? Because I was lighting the candle at both ends and throwing gas on it. And Chad, you know, pulled the gas back and put the candle out on one end, and you know, definitely taught me a smarter way. So, yeah. Just I train with more sub-maximal training and a lot more volume and a lot more frequency. You know, you're not going to become a world champion squatting 1 time a week and, you know, thinking that's going to do it. You know what I mean? You know, when I was prepping and, you know, for big dogs, so I was squatting twice a week, pulling twice a week, benching 3 times a week, you know, much lower intensities on certain days, but much higher frequency and then much overall higher volume. And that's what works, you know what I mean? And actually learning how to peak for me. Anyone can be strong in the gym on the day that they want to be strong, you know, they woke up and feel good that day. That don't mean nothing. You know, now I'm going to tell you, hey, you need to be strong on May 15th. Oh shit. Okay. There's a lot of planning that goes into that, and it requires a smart approach to your programming to achieve that. You know, and how do I make sure I don't peak on the week of May 6th or the meet of May 21st? Or, you know, I need to peak on that actual day. So a lot more goes into it, you know, when you do that. And I like to think I got it down pretty good. You know, I understand it really well. And the biggest challenge is learning how people respond to stuff. And then you make adjustments according to how they respond. And sometimes they need more, sometimes they need less. They need less. It just all depends. But that's been the biggest change. You know, I don't bro lift anymore. I didn't work out arms for 6 years. You know, like arms aren't going to make you a better power lifter. So, you know, I got rid of the fluff muscles and the dumb shit that don't do anything for, you know, the sport specific. And, you know, here I am now wishing like, man, all those years when I was juicing super hard, I wish I was just hitting arms. I'd have like massive air exploder arms right now. But, you know, it is what it is.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for your time. I know you're a busy guy, and we had an amazing interview. I mean, I'm going to go back and watch this and just laugh my ass off for another hour.
Hell yeah.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on, man. You mind if I give a shout out?
Yeah, do it.
Well, you know, mainly shout out to my wife. Thank you for everything, and you know, allowing me to live this lifestyle. And then the next would be for my coaching and programming. If you're interested, hit me up on Instagram. It's Brandon_Allen88. Shoot me a DM. You know, we'll talk about it online, kind of see where you're at, and we'll get you going with something, whether it's off season or prep or you know, general fitness, anything. I'm not just a complete fucking meathead. I've been personal training since I was 18 years old. You know, I've been training weights since I was 12 years old. It's always been a lifestyle for me. So I could probably help you out, depending, you know, on any walk of life, you know, that you are. You know, shout out to my sponsor, Killer Labs, who actually brought me on board as much more than just a sponsor recently. So keep an eye out. We'll be releasing a lot more products and covering that a lot more. Buffalo Beer Company, always been good to me. All my old sponsors that dropped me because you're scared of the fucking SJWs, fuck you.
Awesome, man.
Couldn't end it any way better.
Yes, sir.
Special guest top 10
All right, boys, take care. Thank you.
Filthy Power, Brandon Allen. Quit being a fake fuck. Hard truths. You can't handle the truth.
So we want to get into some more hard truths like we do every other week. And the hard truth I want to talk about is environment matters. What I mean about this is your surrounding group, your people, whoever you keep around you, that matters. In athletics, if you surround yourself with a lot of worse athletes, you don't expect to get much better yourself. If you surround yourself with a bunch of people who only give you yeses and never call you out on your bullshit, don't expect to get much better. But unfortunately, a lot of people do. And it really does matter in developing you as an athlete specifically, but even in your job. If you only surround yourself people that don't push you, you're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, community means everything. And, you know, at the head of it should be a leader. So if you don't have one of those either, you need to have, you know, people that surround you and make you feel better as not only a person, but when you're in a room with this crew or whoever you're with, just charging up when you're training. You know, Darrell and I, we get some pretty awesome energy going. Even at meets when we got the tunes playing, everybody's looking in the corner going, who are these guys? Well, you know, they're having fun when they're doing this instead of having 20 nervous shits before they go do their first squat. But for me, you know, as a gym owner and someone that takes pride in being different from other trainers, because I've created a community and I've created an environment that people love and they can feel part of. And that is essential to growth. And just as Darrell was saying, we don't go light on each other. You know, if someone smells like shit, put on some deodorant, motherfucker. If someone is not locking out their deadlift, we ride them, you know. If you're not squatting deep enough, we tell you, you know, these are the hard truths. So if you don't have people, you know, keeping you in line and keeping you, you know, doing the right thing, then you're just surrounding yourself with a bunch of fucking puppets that just, you know, tell you what you want. And that's all I have to say. Boom. All right, everybody, on a little bit of a sadder note, I just want to give my respects to a man that we lost this week in the martial arts community. A guy that, you know, I've run classes, you know, back to back with him, and he's been an amazing guy in the community. Eduardo, aka Lalo, we're going to miss you, man. I mean, you know, it was a very abrupt ending to his life, and he put so much, you know, love and care into what he did as an instructor. You know, I always saw him do kids classes and I was jealous. I'm like, this guy really knows how to read kids and he knows what he's doing. You know, he can get in the mind of these young people and help change their lives. And he changed so many lives. He was, you know, the light of every party, I guess. You know, he was just one of those guys that you wanted to be around, an amazing guy. And tragically, you know, he lost his life this week. I won't get into details, but what I will say is, you know, there is a GoFundMe page. I'm going to put it here. And, you know, his family can definitely need use some help, and they need your help. So if you feel encouraged to, you know, even donate, you know, what, $5, that's okay. But I'm also going to leave a tribute video here just so you can know what kind of guy he was. He was amazing. Darrell?
So I just want everybody out there to honestly take this and realize tomorrow isn't guaranteed for anybody. You never know what's going to happen. So take these chances you have to connect with family and friends. If you have someone in your life that means something to you, you should let them know that. Be genuine, honest. Life's too short for you to worry about dumb things and be fake to yourself. So keep people around you love, and tell the people around you that you love that you care about them, because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Exactly. Tomorrow's never guaranteed. And, just as he said, I was exchanging messages with Waldo a week ago and talking about how he's going to come back and do some classes at my gym now. And, it was a nice conversation. We joked about Conor McGregor getting knocked out, and that was the last I've heard of him. So I heard from him, and it was, it's sad. I go over and listen to those messages a few times, and it's just, he's no longer here. So definitely hold your family and friends that you hold close, even closer, and tell them that you love them daily. All right, Darrell?
All right, guys. So that's it for Two Guys, One Bench. Hope you enjoyed the interview with Brandon Allen. Hope you laughed just as hard as we did throughout it and learned some shit. Join us next week. We're going to have another great interview for you. Maybe I'll learn a little Japanese, but I'll definitely be talking some shit.
And maybe Darrell will have a clean ass by that time and go out and buy himself a fucking $80 bidet. And that goes for all you and you stinky assholes. Let's get it right. Tune in next week. And don't forget to eat big.
Train hard.
And always be fight ready.
Choices and consequences. Misfit. Resolute. Prepare yourself for battle. Bridge City Brand. The Gilded Beard.
Lifting.
With Jana. Her Lifting Inside Edition. Powerlifting motivation.